laws and things are the same if you have a car, an aircraft, or your body. The mechanics are, the laws of mechanics are equal everywhere, and that's the reason why we in this institute need not only biologists and physicians, but also mechanical engineers, physicists, computer scientists, and so. And the large interdisciplinarity of our institute makes it very challenging and interesting to work here. This is our spine research lab, and what you see here is the so-called spine motion and loading simulator. And what we can do here, we can put spines or spinal segments in here. This is just a model for demonstration, but normally we can do in here human specimens or animal specimens, and we can put loads on it, like they occur in vivo. For example, side bending or flexion extension or axial rotation, like this is also possible, or combinations of that. We can do axial loading of the spine, and we measure the stability and stiffness of the spine in all directions. Okay, this is our knee joint simulator. You know that the knee joint, unfortunately, is not a pure hinge joint. It would be much nicer and easier to handle, and it's much more complicated, for example, compared to the hip joint, which is just a simple ball joint, but this is a really complicated joint, because the axis of motion is moving. Therefore, if you fix it like that and you move it, you have to be sure that it can move freely, and each degree of freedom is considered. You see, for example, here the tibial rotation with the tibia, femur down there. Tibial rotation is enabled. Then you see that here, this is the varus valgus axis. And of course, the motor just moves it in flexion extension. So these are the three main axes, but you need in fact 6 degrees of freedom, because it can also make small movements to the medial-lateral side, and you can also do like this. So we need a cardiac joint here. You see that we can do every movement, and we have a sixth degree of freedom, which is here, this translation, which is also possible. So what we are doing with it, we study the behavior of the ligaments, for example. We put on small sensors on the ligaments to see what strains they are exposed to, specific joint loads. If we look inside the joint, we see the patella here from behind, which should normally be, and also here, which should normally be nice, smooth and white. But okay, this is already a little bit used now and has been exposed to air, but we see that the properties are not very nice. Already some signs of degeneration here on the patella. Also here, some cartilage defects there and there. So it's a little bit affected, that knee joint.
This is from the use in the machine?
No. Maybe the color, yes, but not the defect. The defect is just a degeneration. Well, I mentioned downstairs Wolff's law that the loads are important for bone formation. You see, for example, when you see the structure of a proximal femur, you see the spongy bone is adapted to the specific load lines, and this is based on the specific cellular processes that take place in the cell. And to study that on cellular level, we have we are investigating very much the mechanical transduction, problems of mechanical transductions, and for this we have designed this apparatus, for instance, which is a apparatus to mechanically stimulate cells. So this, for example, is a flexible culture dish, made of silicon. We do them by ourselves and we mold them, and the cells attach nicely to the bottom of this cell dish, and then when you stretch it, the cells get strained because they attach to the surface. And by this advantage is that we have a more or less uniform strain distribution, so we exactly know which strain we apply. And so these dishes we put in here in this machine, you see here, and they are connected to this eccentric mechanism here. And this is cell gymnastics. This is correct, and we adjust it just by the speed of the motor here, which is one parameter, and the other parameter is the amount of strain, potential strain, and this machine is at the moment here, the eccentricity results in a strain of 1% maximum. We have apparatuses or eccentricities up to 8%, so we can study the influence of different strains and different frequencies of the segment there. But what we see here is this is a cross-section of a meniscus ligament. Wow. And we're just automatically calculating the area, because when we pull on it in a tensile experiment, then we need to know the cross-section to calculate the elastic modulus. And this can be very accurately done here in such a system by an automatic computer program.